Hey YouTube people, I want to talk about a new option for my Bantam. I just got it in. It's really exciting. So traditionally the Bantam has had either an Oculink or Thunderbolt 4 option. Now, one of the things that has come out recently is this guy right here, the TH5P4. And this is available on AliExpress, but this is a Thunderbolt 5 device. And one of the cool things about it is the fact that it has both the DC barrel connector and the ThinkPad connector, in addition to 100 watts now. The old version had 87 watts of power delivery, and there's 30 watts of power delivery on the second port. So it's an upgrade in terms of power. The other good thing is at least my V1 Thunderbolt 4 adapter did not have a fan on it. Well, the fan can actually help stability and keep things more cool in the long run. So pretty much a good upgrade all around with these electronic circuits to put inside the enclosure. And the nice thing is, I got this in to make sure it worked and test fit okay. And on the Bantam V2, we do have holes that align. So that's good news. So one of the other really interesting things about the TH5 version is the power connector is different on the rear as well. And I don't know if it's better or worse, but it is using the 12-pin power connector, which is scary, right? I mean, I don't think there's enough power going through this, especially on these lower power cards, that it's going to melt. But it does have that 12-pin connector now instead of a more standard port. So keep that in mind. But I will say that the cables it comes with, these are much nicer cables. These are very flexible and feel pretty high quality. So I think that will actually fit better in the enclosure. They're easier to manage. So looks like the same hole. I mean, slightly different, but it still is lining up just fine to be able to install this into your Bantam eGPU enclosure. So I don't expect, I don't have a Thunderbolt 5 capable Windows PC, but I do expect that will be an option in the near future. But if you are looking for a Thunderbolt 5 circuitry, I'm going to test it out and see how well it works. Because there are some issues. And the issues that I found is I did a review and I tested the 4060 LP in my Bantam Long. And with the Oculink port is where I did all my testing, and I had no issues with it. The 5060 worked just fine compared to the 4060. Later on in the past month, I moved to my Thunderbolt adapter because I was going to be doing some traveling at CES, and I wanted to be able to use it more with my Surface Pro, which I had done just fine with my 4060. But when I tried to use the 5060 with the Thunderbolt on my Surface Pro, I ran into just stability issues. Things would crash. Sometimes the performance wasn't as high as I expected. And I just chalked it up to maybe it's because it's a V1 and I didn't, I kind of just, dropped a different card I had in it and went with that because I figured it was just something weird with mine. But then when I tried the RTX 4000 SFF Blackwell, I had the same issue. Over Oculink, just fine, no issues. But under Thunderbolt, I was experiencing the same little bits of instability. So that also was a motivator. And I think that it comes down to drivers. Initially I thought something's wrong with my card, but I now have seen several posts on the internet of people with this issue. It's basically if you have Blackwell architecture, it doesn't seem to play nice with that TH3P4 GAN V2 circuitry. It just for some reason there's a stability issue. So I'm hoping that this Thunderbolt 5, these names, I'm hoping this TH5P4 works better. So I'm going to be testing that today. So let's take a look. All right, so we can see it's now up and working. No errors on the driver. We've got it all installed properly. Appears to be working. So let's go ahead and run a benchmark. We'll start with obligatory time spy just to test and see. But more than anything, we want to see if this Thunderbolt 5 adapter is going to give us a more stable experience. At least that's my goal today. Okay, and that netted us with a 9511 over USB 4. Now, I'm not super impressed with that score, as when we ran this over Oculink, we saw 13487. Although, to be fair, an eGPU with the 4060 versus the 5060, we only saw 8428 versus this graphics score of 9511. So the 5060 is still outperforming the 4060, but it's just not as impressive as those Oculink numbers. But again, we are limited by the bandwidth of Thunderbolt 4, 40 gigabits per second, actually less than that, but roughly 40 gigabits per second. Now we're using CUDA-Z to kind of look at the bandwidth we're dealing with here. You can see we're looking at 3,700 MIB per second. The reality is the gigabit per second conversion on that's only about 31 gigabit per second. So it's not even close to 40, but that's pretty common to see that. So our bandwidth is a little bit limited here. Okay, so just ran Black Myth Wukong, didn't see any hint of instability. 53 frames a second. We are using the native resolution of the surface, which is quite high, 2880 by 1920, so it's a pretty decent score for this high of a resolution. I just want to check Final Fantasy 15 benchmark as well and compare the numbers to the 4060 over Thunderbolt and see how that compares. So unfortunately that only gave us an 8860. Okay, so I'm now using an external display and our score is massively higher, 14880 on that. So using an external display makes a huge difference on this Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, and I think that's because the bandwidth's a little bit diminished. So using an external display connected directly to the GPU, not having to go through that Thunderbolt interface back in, gives a much higher score. All right, let's try to examine all this data and get a little comprehensive here and try to see some patterns in the data and maybe make some recommendations on what you should do if you're trying to do an eGPU setup. So this graph, the blue bars are 4060 cards, just for reference. So these are 4060, these are 4060. The green ones are our 5060 LP cards. And then we have them in several different configurations. And I want to just talk about the differences between them. So let's talk 4060 first, just to get our feet wet. So a 4060 card using the TH3P4 GAN, using the internal display, so over Thunderbolt 4 on the internal display, you get 8428. Now, if you bypass that and get additional bandwidth by using Oculink, you jump up to 10,458. Let's now look at the 5060 card in a couple different configurations. The lightest color is using Thunderbolt 4, even though it's a Thunderbolt 5 capable device. Our computer only has Thunderbolt 4. That's using the internal display. That gets you a 9511 in Time Spy. Now, if you bump up and use an external display, you're going to suddenly get a much better score, 12688. And it's almost comparable to using that 5060 over Oculink, which got a 13487. So you get massive gains moving to an external display using the TH5P4 and pretty much any Thunderbolt with the 5060. What we're not using is we're not using the TH5P4 GAN with the 50 series cards because it's not stable. I have gotten scores out of it. It does work, but I've noticed it's really unstable, which is why we're testing this TH5P4 card. But there's nuances to this TH5P4 card in that if you use the internal display, you're not even getting that much better of a score than a 4060. I mean, that gain from a 4060 to a 5060 using the internal display, not huge, but you can get a pretty big gain using it on an external display, well above and beyond the 4060 on an external display, if that makes sense. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. Let's move to Final Fantasy 15. If we look at the 4060 cards, we do see, again, a massive jump using Thunderbolt 4 versus Oculink. And same thing here, a 5060 using a Thunderbolt 4 connection versus Oculink is huge. But so is switching from an internal display to an external display. So TH5P4 is putting up good numbers. If you were to use this TH5P4 with an actual laptop that supported Thunderbolt 5, you would see comparable Oculink numbers like we're seeing in this graph. You wouldn't have any issues using it on your internal display, or very minimal issues or performance deltas using it on the internal display. So yeah, I hope this gives you a clear understanding of what you can expect with different configurations. But what I would say absolutely is I would avoid trying to use the older generation Thunderbolt 4 with 50 series class cards or Blackwell cards. I've noticed pretty bad instability with it and haven't found a workaround for it yet. Now, there could be some updated drivers that come out that fix this instability, but if you want to use your Thunderbolt 4 laptop with the 50 series card, I recommend you step up to the TH5P4 circuitry that I've been looking at today, because I have not had any crashes with it, where the 50 series cards with the older TH3, it definitely has issues, and the more I research it, the more I see widespread issues with that configuration. But I want to let you know you can do a 50 series 5060 card with Thunderbolt. You just have to use the TH5P4. I don't recommend the TH3P4 after this research today. So I hope that helps. I hope that if you're looking to put together an eGPU, you look into my Bantam at store.cbutters.tech. And hope you found this information useful. If you do, please subscribe. Think about joining the channel. We'll have lots more updates. I'm putting a lot more videos out these days. I'd appreciate your support, and thanks for watching.